All right, so I'm going to tell you why I think Donald Trump will win the 2024 election. So I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, but I'm 3 for 3 so far, at least as far as predicting who will be president. So there's two key indicators. So there's economic dissatisfaction and social dissatisfaction, okay? So Donald Trump, he has this excuse of a natural disaster for economic dissatisfaction. But guess what? His economy was so well that Obama tried to take credit for it.
I know how it is that we've got such a short memory. They did exactly what they're doing now, and then it blew up, and then we had to go clean it up. And we got the economy growing again. It's been growing ever since, by the way. So when folks talk right now about, oh, the economy's doing so well, where do you think that started?
So that's a point for Donald Trump. And then you got social dissatisfaction. Donald Trump had George Floyd's riot, but most people, they're over at this point. In fact, there's more things against the Democrats, where you got the Gaza-Ukraine war, you got massive illegal migration, where you got DeSantis and Greg Abbott with their bus stunt being a major success for the Trump campaign. Abortion is highly unlikely to be a hot topic issue due to the fact that conservative women are still leaning towards Donald Trump. And also, neither Kamala Harris or Biden are charismatic, which hurts significantly their chances as far as inspiring voters to actually get the polls compared to Donald Trump, where he has huge rallies, okay? To the point where some of his rallies even exceed the population with the medium-sized town I live in. So, yeah, so the re-election busters, they're not turning out well for Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. So this puts it in favor for Donald Trump. So what led Donald Trump to win 2016 was that he had a simple message with Make America Industrial Again. Okay, Hillary Clinton didn't have that, but Joe Biden, he appeals to unions very well. That led him win 2020, but in 2016, Trump appealed to the manufacturing industry much better. So with union support, it significantly dropped, which is what gave Biden the lead in these Rust Belt states, where it was 44% for Biden compared to 36% for Trump, while now with Kamala Harris in place, you got 58% for Donald Trump, while you only have 31% for Kamala Harris. So from a 15% lead for Democrats to almost 30% deficit, that's going to hurt your chances a lot. And I'm surprised Donald Trump hasn't campaigned a little bit with Michigan. I mean Minnesota, okay? Minnesota. Because with Donald Trump, he also has the Arab American voters with him this time around, where it used to be a 2-to-1 ratio, okay? And there are a sizable enough population to actually sway to vote with the Muslim majority city mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, endorsing Donald Trump, okay? So that's going to help a lot for Donald Trump with gaining the Muslim vote, okay? Especially with the Gaza war going on, a lot of people don't want their family members getting killed. And with the Muslim support, I think this actually makes Minnesota within striking distance, because in Minnesota, there's actually a lot of Muslims that live there, and if you compare to like 2016, we don't have someone who appealed to unions very well. Their population being over 100,000 in Minnesota is definitely enough to be able to put Trump ahead in the lead for Minnesota, especially with the Democrats shrinking lead over time with Tim Walz, despite it being his home state. So at least as for Southwest, a strong correlation with the exception of California has to do with the religion you have. So you have members of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they're going to vote conservative. You got Catholic Americans, they tend to lean Democrat in the past. Protestants tend to lean Republican. And when you look at the maps for Texas, you see a strong correlation with the religion and what someone votes for. Okay? So you got all these things working against Kamala Harris, because Joe Biden was Catholic, which made him appeal to this demographic very well. But Kamala Harris, all she did was just completely nuke that advantage that Joe Biden put straight into her lap. So you got Hispanic Americans. They are more for Trump as compared to in the past. And you got more voters in Arizona registering to be Republicans by over 300,000. And then you got Kamala Harris ruining the Catholic support, making it a lot more difficult for her, just with not even showing up to the Al Smith dinner. You got the offensive thing with the communion with one of her campaign surrogates making fun of communion. And then you also got this weirdo that seems to be making fun of Catholics that she put in place instead of actually attending the Al Smith dinner. Okay? This is not a good way to win the Southwest. You need the Catholic vote in order to be somewhat competitive in states like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and Nevada. Okay? Nevada, I think that's going to go for Trump. 2016 Democrats had a huge early vote lead and won Nevada. But this time around, Republicans have the early vote lead, which I think would let Donald Trump be able to take the state of Nevada. Okay? Then you got Texas that's gotten more conservative, where with Donald Trump and the things with the abortion, with Democrats making that their single issue instead of appealing to other things, that's going to hurt their chances in addition to what the things that Kamala did. So Texas is not going, I don't think Texas will be super competitive. In addition, you have the Protestant vote being strongly in favor of Donald Trump. Okay. And as far as the Florida, yeah, that state is red. Okay. They didn't lose in 2022 against Ron DeSantis because they had a weak candidate. Okay. Charlie Crist run governor and the pass as in Florida, okay? He's not a weak candidate. He's popular enough to actually be able to win the state. But the main issue is the party, okay? And the policies that they're putting out, okay? So that completely nuked any chances. And also it's Trump's home state, and he does a super good job at appealing to him. Now, as far as Georgia and North Carolina, I highly doubt they would go towards Kamala Harris. Just ever since the disaster with the hurricanes and their poor handling of it, with the current administration that she is associated with and that she also bears some form of responsibility for with how they handle things. Yeah, she's not. I highly doubt she would win that. Okay.
And I want to thank the local leaders for together creating a task force-like response, knowing that we are at our best when we work together and coordinate resources, coordinate our communications to the maximum effect for the community that has been impacted. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for
people remember their families. And just with the poor handling, you're going to make people very angry, and they will race straight to the polls and vote against you hard because they remember their families and they love them very much. Okay? And when you ditch them at the last moment, that just tells those voters who they should trust. Should it be Donald Trump, who came, even though he had no obligation to, he came and tried to help these people out, versus you, who just did, compared to Kamala, who just did photo ops, okay? In addition to that, you have more black men supporting Donald Trump as compared to in the past, which would also hurt her chances even more in places like Georgia. So, just with all those factors combined together, I find it highly unlikely, especially with the economic dissatisfaction and social dissatisfaction working significantly against the Biden-Harris administration, and especially Kamala Harris, because she's terrible at communicating. And she also was part of the same administration, didn't solve any of the issues that she was going to promote for her 2024 campaign. Because guess what? She can do this stuff now. But people are not stupid, and they are waking up to it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And outside that, remain civil. And also, I'm going to be doing a live stream on election night, just to react just to the results, and we'll see if I'm correct, just with me thinking if Donald Trump is going to win the election or not. Outside of that, hope you have a good day.